Hello, hello everyone, founder of Angelica Arc. I am here to brighten up your universe and to help you master your energy. And today I wanted to remind you that whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. Those words are attributed to Henry Ford, a car manufacturer. But these words are timeless. Why? Because it is love which makes you move. If you love what you do, you will do it well. Therefore you can. So listeners, what do you love doing? What is your vision? And how is your life looking at the moment? This is the topic of this podcast, your vision, your life, and how you can get back on track. Today, I have a very special guest, my great friend and dear colleague, a truly amazing life coach, Sonia Ovenden. Sonia specializes in healing the past, but also in how to obtain your dream, so taking you into your future. I think we both agree, Sonia, that the greatest regret we could ever have in our lives would be not following our passion. Do you agree, Sonia?
Hi, Angela Michelle. Thank you so much for having me here. And it's a total pleasure to share this with you. Yes, I entirely agree, 100%. They say when we pass over that our life flashes before us, and I want to make sure it's worth watching. But I guess, like most things, sometimes life gets in the way. And what I mean by this is we get up, we go to work, we come home, we sort the kids out, we eat dinner, and before we know it, we go to bed, and the next day we hit repeat. So for me, it's been about taking a step back, really, and getting truthful with myself. Am I living life or am I going through it? When I truly answered this question from a place of love and from my heart, I also then chose to take action. But in order for me to answer this, I had to get clear of what I really wanted, what I truly would want my life to be like. What did I want my vision to be? I know you have a vision, Angela Michelle. How did you create it?
Well, I do. Initially, I sat down with my laptop and I wrote down everything that I want to experience during my lifetime, letting go of the how. Once I had acknowledged all of my desires, I started implementing a nightly practice, which helps me to sleep well and feel positive on awakening. I start by an energy clearing and a healing. I give gratitude. I set my intentions for the following day. I state my gifts, and by the way, we all have gifts, and I see my future in detail, not in a control freak sort of way, more in a surrendering, but let me share with the universe what my vision is sort of way. So for example, I see in my mind's eye my future home, the outside Monet-like landscape with lush green grass, a lake filled with water lilies, a willow tree in the distance. I see my children smiling with their school diplomas, surrounded by a bunch of friends. I see my pets happy and healthy and running around. I see the lives of clients and people that some I don't even know yet, that I will be brightening up, that I will be healing. I can see it all. I truly believe that I get to decide what becomes real for me. I know that I am in control of my life and not the other way around. It might not always seem like that, especially this year with lockdowns. Nevertheless, I catch myself when I say things like, things are okay so far. Why? Because that sentence is handing over my power to fate. I now say, things are good and they are getting better all the time. Of course, I do allow myself to feel less than positive emotions if an obstacle occurs, but I don't hang around in that place, not for too long. Sonia, do you have any advice on what action steps our listeners can actually take? I know that our thoughts create our feelings, which leads to our actions and therefore our results.
Yeah, it sounds simple, and sorry to make it too simple, but the reality is just take action. And yes, I know that even that phrase can feel a little heavy, but even if it's just one tiny thing, take the action. But the key question that I use is, will that action step take me even just 1% closer to realizing my vision? Will it help me to achieve something? Once we've identified if that action step is worth it, put it in your diary and commit to doing it. Even if you set it a few days later, that's fine, but there's a commitment to take that action. And whether big or small, we know that all actions will move the needle. But knowing about something is not the same as doing something. We all know many things, but for me, the 3 words, I know that, can be particularly dangerous. Knowing things logically is actually what stops us taking action. So what I chose to do was add a few words to the phrase, and now I say, I know that, so how can I take an action step to apply what I know? Just this small shift enables me to take the action rather than stay in the mindset of, I already know that. So now I've got my vision cemented both in my heart and in my mind, and I can feel what my vision will feel like. I read it every day. And sometimes if I feel I'm going through the day, I read it again and again if needed. Each time I read it, the energy changes and the spark is turned up. And I know you use energy to help move the needle. How does that work for you?
Yes, I do. I help shift my clients' energy into the right direction. I strengthen their energy systems. After all, energies shape the way you feel, the way you think, and the way you live. Everybody is capable of adding vitality to their mind and adding a bounce to their spirit. In fact, we are all capable of reducing anxiety and freeing ourselves from body pains. And when your body is cleared and you are balanced, that translates into you achieving things more easily. For example, you can start today by setting the intention that things will come to you easily, the law of attraction. For example, an online research project should take minutes and not hours. So the next time, before you start searching for something online, set the intention that you will find it immediately. Life should be easy, not difficult. You don't have to work long hours to find the answer to complete a task or to become rich. When you are in flow, things flow to you. So, what are you putting your attention on? Your attention is your frequency. If you don't have an intention, when you're online, the web will grab your attention and you will be on it for hours, wasting valuable, precious time. This rule applies offline too. Set your intentions. It's like putting an action step in your diary. Once it is written down, you have more chance of completing it. It is your thinking that can get you to where you want to be, your vision. Plan what can go right for you, not what can go wrong, which leads me on to giving and receiving. If your day was easy thanks to your newly aligned energies, be grateful as you are on the right path. You might then like to consider giving back by sharing a bit of what you have with others, be it a donation, your time, your love, or even something homegrown or homemade.
Michelle, I'd actually love to share a story if that's okay.
Oh, yes, go ahead. Yes.
Okay, I think it sums up the power of giving really well that you've just come on to. And it's a short story that I came across just last week from Katharine Hepburn, and it was from her childhood. And it's actually in her own words. Once, when I was a teenager, my father and I were standing in line to buy tickets for the circus. Finally, there was only one other family between us and the ticket counter. This family made a big impression on me. There were eight children, all probably under the age of 12. The way they were dressed, you could tell they didn't have a lot of money, but their clothes were neat and clean. The children were well behaved, all of them standing in line 2 by 2 behind their parents, holding hands. They were excitedly jabbering about the clowns, animals, and all the acts they would be seeing that night. By their excitement, you could sense they had never been to the circus before. It would be a highlight of their lives. The father and mother were at the head of the pack, standing proud as could be. The mother was holding her husband's hand, looking up at him as if to say, "You're my knight in shining armour." He was smiling and enjoying seeing his family happy. The ticket lady asked the man how many tickets he wanted. He proudly responded, "I'd like to buy 8 children's tickets and 2 adult tickets so I can take my family to the circus." The ticket lady stated the price. The man's wife let go of his hand, her head dropped. The man's lip began to quiver. Then he leaned a little closer and asked, "How much did you say?" The ticket lady again stated the price. The man didn't have enough money. How was he supposed to turn and tell his 8 kids that he didn't have enough money to take them to the circus? Seeing what was going on, my dad reached into his pocket, pulled out a $20 bill, and then dropped it to the ground. We were not wealthy in any sense of the word. My father bent down, picked up the $20 bill, tapped the man on the shoulder and said, "Excuse me, sir, this fell out of your pocket." The man understood what was going on. He wasn't begging for a handout, but certainly appreciated the help in a desperate, heartbreaking and embarrassing situation. He looked straight into my dad's eyes, took my dad's hand in both of his, squeezed tightly onto the $20 bill, and with his lip quivering and a tear streaming down his cheek, he replied, thank you, sir. This really means a lot to me and my family. My father and I went back to our car and drove home. The $20 that my dad gave away was what we were going to buy our tickets with. Although we didn't get to see the circus that night, we both felt a joy inside us that was far greater than seeing the circus could ever provide. That day I learned the value to give. The giver is bigger than the receiver. If you want to be larger than life, learn to give. Love has nothing to do with what you were expecting to get, only with what you were expecting to give, which is everything. The importance of giving, blessing others, can never be overemphasized because there's always joy in giving. Learn to make someone happy by acts of giving. And as I say, that was Katharine Hepburn.
Wow, that really does capture the power of giving. We are not obviously all as giving and open-hearted as Katharine Hepburn's father was, but it sure does brighten up the universe when somebody does show their love in this world. So whenever you doubt something, listeners, just for a minute even, quieten down that internal chatter and remind yourselves that if something could be possible, then it is possible. If you do not house that type of positivity, then borrow somebody else's positivity, like a mentor or a group of like-minded friends. Sonia, do people need a mentor or a coach to take them to the next level?
I guess when I think about the things I've done well during my life, one of the things that has made a big difference for me has been when I've had someone to support my growth and my journey. So yes, it can certainly help to have a coach, mentor, accountability partner, call it what you will. It helps us to stay on track and to keep taking those action steps. To stay connected to the abundance mindset, to build rhythm, to have somebody who cares about me, to remind me that I deserve to achieve all the dreams that I want and more. So when we wobble, which is typically when limiting beliefs try and hold us back, it is amazing to borrow the belief of others, somebody who supports you and believes in all you're becoming. So in essence, yes, that accountability piece is a definite for me.
What about when people come up against obstacles? Many at that point then lose hope and give up. What's your viewpoint on obstacles?
Yeah, I love this question. And yes, there will always be obstacles placed in our path. We will get tested. Do we really want this? But we must remember our human self will always try and pull us back to what it knows, to the familiar. Even if it's not the best course for us, it's known, which makes it easier. Take your favourite pair of shoes. You love them. They're comfortable, familiar, and your feet glide into them. But they're worn out and seen better days. And although you know the new pair will pinch, rub, and give us blisters, eventually they will become the new norm. However, when obstacles or curveballs or changes come up, ask ourselves the question, why is this coming up for us? In asking this question, it is how we deal with these things that matters. There's always something to be grateful for in any situation, even if it's learning what we don't want in our future, for example, or we obtain the outcome we were hoping for. So either way, it's a win-win, because when we learn, we improve, we grow. So do it, even if you're afraid. Face the fear, but don't let it linger. When it pops up, say, I know you're here because you think you're keeping me safe, but I'm now ready to grow. There will always be storms, floods, etc. But we really do get to choose our reaction. So gather our friends, our colleagues, the ones we know who will lift us and support us and help us to flourish on the other side, where the rainbows and the magic is waiting. We do live in a world of opposites. Things are hot because we know what's cold. Things are only bad because we know what things are good. So we believe things to be bad or good. There is always an element of good in every situation. For example, even today during COVID, there's less airplane pollution. Animals are enjoying the land more as there's less traffic on the roads. Families are getting to see each other more, albeit electronically, for some, than they have seen their loved ones in the last 2 years. So I really do encourage everyone to find the possible good, even in the not so good situations. When we find the gift in any situation, the lightness which flows is magical.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Sonia. Wow. I think we'll say in conclusion then, it's never too late to start over. So long as you're breathing, in other words, you are alive, then there is time. There is no need to look at others. That's really important. Just look within yourself. So what do you want? What are you passionate about, listeners? What can you do with what you have today? And who do you need to become to take action? Forget the when, the where, and the hows. In other words, all of your excuses. Start living your vision today. If you feel a coach will help you to become what you need to get you closer to your dream, then please either contact Sonia Ovenden at her website, www.discoverthebeautyofyou.com, or myself, Angela Michelle, at angelicaarc.com. You can also take a look at the description and comments below, and there will be direct links for Sonia Ovenden. Thank you so very much, Sonia, for sharing your insight and wisdom in this life-changing topic.
It's been an absolute pleasure and privilege, and thank you so much for having me, Angela Michelle. Absolutely, total pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Our goal today, everyone, was to help inspire others, to help them to see that by creating a vision, they can obtain the life that they love. And I am sure we did that today. Once again, thank you, Sonia Ovenden, and signing out with so much love. Bye for now.